two, 1, 2, 3, go. Prepare the way. Israel, the adulterer from Elohim, you've turned your face. Israel, the ravager, you caused all the land to lay waste. Israel, the ignorant, your people suffer for lack of knowledge. Israel, when will you learn by your idols you've been made to file? But in the day of salvation, you will return to Yahuwah. You shall be made one again. Ephraim and Judah, for the bride has been prepared. And by the blood of the Lamb you have been brought near, brought near.
Shalom.
Shalom.
We are actually really late doing this update video. We were supposed to do it this morning when we left, and we're like, we'll do it a little bit later on the road. And here we are, almost at the end of our leg today. We drove from Utah to, we are now probably about 40 minutes outside of Denver. We're gonna meet up with Jayo and his family, maybe get a couple little interview from him, and then we're gonna meet another family that we're really excited to meet afterwards. So we got a double header tonight. We're excited. Last night was awesome.
Super cool.
Yeah, so the family we met last night, or we introduced them last night.
Mm-hmm.
Very interested in getting Hebrew Fest going out in the Salt Lake area, which I think we were super impressed how beautiful that area was.
Yeah, I didn't know that Utah had so much scenery, but apparently they're known for that. So.
Beautiful. I thought it was, when we first drove into Utah from Nevada, it was honestly exactly what I thought it was going to look like. It was like the salt flats. It was just like barren wasteland. I thought Utah was mostly desert. And anyways, by the time we got to the Salt Lake area, Ogden, eventually Eden is where they were, Eden, Utah. It was just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, Yah willing, we will be back in the Utah area. And we were treated very well by this family, and we look forward to fellowshipping again soon. So we will see you all in a bit with Jayo.
But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life.
The living water in the room, it's a big drip.
So shalom, brothers and sisters. We are here with Jayo.
Shalom, shalom.
Victoria and I, one of Victoria and I's probably favorite artists, and we're so thankful for what you and Mike and many other brothers are doing, bringing some of the music styles we used to like, but bringing it back in a way for God's kingdom.
Praise His name, man.
I would love to introduce you to our brothers and sisters out there that may not know you. We call you Jayo. But can you just tell us maybe just a little bit about who you are, where you came from, and
yeah, for sure.
How God worked in your life to bring you where you are today?
Yeah, man. So, grew up in a family with a religious background, heavily Catholic. My family was more Christian. Was raised to believe. Saw no fruit of it in my family's life, and so I saw no desire for it at all. Right down the road from here, I actually went to school, and I had a lot of friends who were in gangs and stuff like that. So as I was going to school down here, I got really heavily attracted to that lifestyle. It's not a lifestyle I live, but I had like family doing it, and my friends made it seem really cool. So I fell into that. Same triple pass that like a lot of people have. Doing dumb things that you're not supposed to be doing. And really just finding myself in a place where I didn't like life. When you're not doing right, you feel it in your soul, and you either accept it or you fight against it. And I had accepted that's who I was, and so I didn't see any need to pray, didn't see any need to do any of this stuff. I was cool with that. I liked the shock value music. I listened to Brother Lynch and lots of violent stuff like that, and got really liked that side of things. At point 2, started reading books like, came across the Necronomicon, stuff like that, black magic books, and really started like reading those things and finding interest in these. And so I had an uncle at the time who was a Moor, 5% Nation of Islam. And so he was teaching me stuff from that whole side of things. And most big rappers who are famous are 5% Nation of Islam. They follow, Wu-Tang, a lot of East Coast cats, Gang Starr and all them. And so that was extremely interesting to me. And so in studying that, you learn a lot about a lot of other religions as well, because they believe that it all pieces together, almost like a universalist thing, but not quite. So I was interested in that. He went to prison. I continued living sinful and I ended up in jail 7 times before I was 21, And so he gets out of prison, tells me this story. And this is amazing. So he was Messianic. He kept Torah. He kept Shabbat. That's what he taught me as soon as he got out of prison. He tells me, hey, all that stuff I taught you about the Moors is a lie. He used the name Jesus, and he said, he's the truth. That's the Messiah. And so I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with none of that. Like, I don't want to hear none of that. Like, what you know about the Anunnaki? And he's breaking it down to me from a biblical perspective. Everything I asked him for like 3-4 months in a row, he'd bring it straight back to the scripture, to the point where I was just kind of like, maybe there's something I'm missing here. You know what I mean? So I forgot the exact conversation that really sparked the interest, but he told me what happened to him in prison. So my family, heavy boxers. Every single uncle was a boxer. My grandpa was a boxer. That was just my family. It was a boxing family. Not professionally. I used to practice and stuff like that, but I was getting too busy getting in trouble. But I was definitely trained in it. But so he tells me, yo, I gave my life to the Lord, and I'm not finna do nothing no more. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do this. And I'm like, why? He's like, I know what he brought me from. And I was like, okay, interesting. So start talking more and more about his time in prison. And I told him, I said, what made you change? And he's like, a lot of things. He said, I seen a lot while I was in there. He goes, but there was this one thing. He goes, so I've been praying to get up out of this prison and go to another one, because it's really violent here. He's like, and I made a pact with the Most High that I won't fight nobody ever again. And so I'm like, why? Because this dude was like the baddest dude I know. And I'd seen him fight people, never lost. And so this guy's like, well, somebody tried to punk me in the thing over the phone call. He goes, and this guy called me out in front of the whole pod. He goes, you made me look like a sucker in front of the whole pod. He goes, I didn't care. He goes, I made a promise to the Most High. So I ask him, I'm like, well, what happened? He goes, 2 days later, the guy comes to me and apologizes.
Wow.
He goes,
in jail?
Yeah. Something about the dude had like a dispute with his lady or something like that. But check this out. So my uncle, my grandpa taught us this combo. It's jab, straight, hook. Jab, straight, hook. You get in a fight, you throw a jab, straight, hook. 90% of the time, you're gonna land that and it's gonna be good. Well, it's a hook to the body that my grandpa taught us. So the very side that my uncle would have thrown that hook on was the side where this guy just had surgery. Wow. Right. And so my uncle tells me, he goes, I would have killed him. He goes, he would have internally bled before the paramedics even got there. He goes, I would have never got out. He goes, right then, he goes, I know that the Most High was answering my prayers and that he was with me. He goes, so I just continued studying and reading. He goes, I ended up in a new prison. Low security, everything. And he was like, man, praise Yah. He was like, I was out there working one day, and I looked out to the mountains, and I just saw something shining in the sky. He goes, that's you, Yah. You know, and that right there was really touched me, because this is a guy who grew up on the street. Like, this is not a guy that you just mess with. And to hear that he laid his whole past aside and to walk this way showed a lot to me, because I was walking a similar path. And he always told my dad, like, he's gonna grow up to be like me. And he didn't mean like him, but he meant with faith, because my uncle studied religions. He was very devout Muslim, you know what I mean? And he changed his life. And so that in turn really like planted heavy seeds. My grandma prayed for me. It watered. Honestly, I didn't want to live. And so
I've been there.
Yeah. I dealt with that for a long time, and I hadn't submitted my life to the Most High at all. And so I find myself in jail my 7th time, and just not want to live anymore. And I just remember crying out to him and saying, like, yo, I don't know if you're real. I don't know if you're true. I know that there's a creator, but I just want the truth. I want to know that you care. Show me that you care. And I was facing a year, and I go in, and they gave me time served plus 2 extra weeks, so I gave my sentence to 3 weeks. And it's kind of wild, because in that time in there, in that same prayer, I asked the Most High. I said, show me proof that you love me, and show me proof that I'm here for a reason. I said, otherwise, when I get out of here, I'm just going to kill myself. I didn't want to live. I found no joy in it. You know, it was like constantly in these cycles where I was self-sabotaging my life with drugs, alcohol, stuff like that. And when I got out, I was homeless, you know, but he answered my prayer. You know, he answered my prayer by me going to court the next week with the 3 weeks. Yeah. To me, that was a miracle, because I was facing a minimum of 1 year. The week prior, I actually had a hearing, and I was so drunk when I got arrested, I had no idea what happened. And the judge is like, Mr. Olguin, you're here again. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I want to get a PR bond. Like, my mind is set right. I want to do good. And he was like, no, you're not getting a PR bond. He goes, we're going to up your bail, and we're going to push to get you that year that is mandatory on this. And so I was looking at a year. Like, there's no reason I wouldn't have got that besides the Most High. And so when he answered that, I was like, as simple as it was for me, knowing that I'm not going to be sitting in jail for another year, that was a blessing. And so I got out. I was homeless, but I believed in him. I read the Quran. I read these other books. Read the Bhagavad Gita. Read these things. So I picked up the Bible. And when I was in jail, I was using the word fool a lot. That was just in my everyday speech, and I called this dude fool, and he goes, what's Proverbs say about that? And I'm like, I don't know. He goes, well, go pick up a Bible and go look at it. He goes, don't call me that again. And I'm sitting there, I'm like low-key off, because I'm like, this dude just checked me on something. I don't know what he's talking about. So I open it up, and it says, you know, the fool said that there's no God. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wow, I'm using this, I'm calling everybody this. Went and thanked them. He wasn't too happy with me, but he was like, just continue reading, get you some wisdom. So I took that as like a pretty solid check. When I got out, I thought back on that. I was riding the bus everywhere, so I was reading everywhere I went. And so lo and behold, like the Most High was just working his word into me. And lots of crazy stuff happened that year that solidified my faith. Lots of interactions. Almost everywhere I went, there was something crazy that would happen. Like, were only me, I'd recognize it. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody else can see it and be like, but me, I was like, yo, that has a meaning for my walk right now. Like, there's something there.
I know exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
if I would tell someone about this, they'd think I'm crazy.
Exactly.
It's like, we know.
Yeah.
We know, like,
Yo. One of the times I saw this punk rock guy, and he was all drunk, and he comes and sits next to me, and he's like, what are you reading? I'm like, scriptures, you know? And he was like, oh, word. And next thing you know, I'm talking to him about God. Conversation's maybe 5 minutes. He gets off. Well, that night, I take the light rail from the suburbs all the way downtown, and I see this dude laying on the ground with his head busted open. Just want to pray for him. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, this is another one of those things. I saw this guy. I was talking to him about God. Someone bust his head. Here I am, just happened to be walking by. What's my purpose in this? What's this? You know what I mean? So just prayed, and stuff like that would happen quite a bit. Like, it was wild, dude. And I was no longer homeless. I lived in off of 6th and Peoria, over in Delmar neighborhood, and I lived in a house that had rats, roaches, and bed bugs. Bro, it was nasty. I ain't never dealt with none of that stuff. But hey, I tell you what, I had the Most High, and I had all my cousins who were living there with me. And so I was like, yo, I'm gonna count this as a blessing. That James 1:2, count it all joy. And so I kept it in my hand, bro. I'd go in there, a little sleeping bag, I'd zip it all the way up. Mice crawling over me at night. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. But I had peace for the first time in my life. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff happened between there and to where I started keeping Torah. Went through a separation. Definitely fell back into my sin. Started hanging out with some Calvinist brothers who, you know, would debate me every chance that they could. And, you know, I just stopped keeping Torah. You know, and I came to another point in my life where I was depressed, and, you know, I was heavily medicating on weed to try to escape the reality that I had created for myself because I wasn't doing good. I still continued to go do ministry and preach to people because that's all I had, you know what I mean? And I came to a point where she actually came into my life around this time too, and I was living right there in those apartments right there, and yeah, right there, dog. And it's kind of wild because they raised the rent, couldn't afford it. I moved in with some family for like a month, and I got my own apartment over in the suburbs. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, where's this peace that the scripture says I'm supposed to have? Like, where is this? This is non-existent in my life at this point. Like, what did I do? You know what I mean? And so right around the same time, Mike and I relink up, and we're talking almost daily, and we reached the same point. You know, we're just like, where's this peace? You know, he's supposed to be taking these things out of our lives. Why am I depressed? Why do I feel like this? And I remember what my uncle told me, and I told Mike, I said, what if we got to keep the commandments? And he's like, I don't know. If that's the case, then, you know, I can't remember the conversation verbatim, but we both agreed at that point. We're like, hey, let's hold each other to this higher standard. Let's start doing this. And so that same week, I quit chewing tobacco, and I quit heavily smoking weed. And like within 3 days, I didn't even crave nothing no more. And that was the beginning of my Torah walk, where I really like started heavily keeping it. Mind you, like I was raised in that, abandoned it, you know what I'm saying? Found my way back, and now I'm like, everything's good. All esteem to Yahuwah. But it's been quite the journey.
Tell us a little bit about your music.
Music.
We are big fans of.
So it's funny, we actually started writing Pray Against the Machine, that whole project, that year too. When we linked up, Mike was like, hey, I got this beat I want you on. It was Lockdown. That was the first one. And he's like, I want you on this. And so I started doing a little bit of research and stuff. I was outside of work for like 2 weeks. Everything was laid off. And so I'm like up late at night researching like a madman, you know, and I'm finding all this stuff about the lockdowns and everything going on. So I'm like, like it was getting teased. Like it wasn't even like a big thing where it's like, this is about to happen. It was like, they might be doing this and that. And so I'm researching, and I'm like, I got this verse. Go ahead and lay it out. We get it back. We put it out. Next one is Narrow Path, you know? And so we just started knocking them out like this. Come August, he's like, hey, let's do a project. Let's get this out by the end of the year. So we just did it, man. And that was like the birth of like what we're doing right now. You know what I mean? Had a Corey Red. He's a Christian hip hop legend. He's on that song Lockdown.
Yeah.
The Most High really linked me up with a lot of people in this time too.
The one that did the half man half.
Yo. My favorite line though is, and he's like, he said, before they gotta take a shot, gotta roll up your sleeve and take the shot. Like, so that was somebody I listened to for years. So me linking up with him was wild. I just sent him the song, and I'm like, hey bro, what do you think about this? And he was like, I like it. I said, can you lay a verse for it? He was like, bro, I'm not even in the studio. Can you hook me up with studio time? I said, bro, I'll pay your studio time. Like, sent it over to the guy, did it in, and yeah, we put that track out. And We had a good brother named Rectify who mastered that. So like this whole project started with us like not having anything and like really not having the funds for all this stuff, to a really famous, like really good like artist hopping on these songs, to a great engineer hopping on this thing and deciding like, hey, I'm gonna cut y'all the discount. Like, I'm hearing what y'all are doing, I'm for it. You know what I'm saying? And so that whole project, like, it was just all y'all's hand, the whole entire thing. Even that song, that Pray Against the Machine, that song didn't sound like that when we first started it. No. That was the engineer. He added all the extra stuff to it. He made it the rock vibe and everything. Like, nice. Yeah, man. And so that was, music-wise, that was the start of it. Where I'm at right now is I'm not really doing too much stuff solo. I have a lot of stuff written. I'm just waiting to release it. I'm trying to get the swing of a few things and really get my recording down before I push out a project where it's just me. But so the next one that I have is me and Bobby. Me and Bobby Thorns are doing Remnant Files. And so that's one where you see In the Rue. Zion was gonna be in it, but we just decided to drop that track. It's just it's a track for everybody to get, you know what I mean? So going forth, I just plan on just doing a lot more, you know what I mean? The Most High really put it on my soul over the past month that I'm not doing enough and that I need to really get to my hand to the plow. You know, it's just with everyday life and everything going on with the family, it's hard to find that time. But he's slowly but surely like putting it on me and making the time for me. And it's kind of crazy watching it because I have a huge problem with procrastination. Dude, I am so comfortable just in my own lane, you know, talking to the people that I normally do on a daily basis and just living my life like that I forget that this is an outlet that he's giving me to do. And so he's pushing me at this point.
We believe that he has blessed you, Mike, and Bobby, and Jacob. What's he going by now?
Jay Zadik.
Zadik, yeah. We believe that he is anointing you guys to do this. And so for all you all out there, our prayer for Jayo and many of his other brothers is that they would be able to do this full time. And so for those of you out there, you know, we ask that you join us in this prayer. And maybe we'll leave some links if someone wants to support your...
Yeah, for sure, man. Okay. Yeah.
We'll leave some links for that. And we hope to see you at Hebrew Fest.
Oh, I'm going to be there.
As we were mentioning to you, it looks like Yah may be opening the doors for us to do Hebrew Fest in Salt Lake City area, Phoenix, SoCal, and East Texas is where we've got on the map so far. So... We'd love to do more this week. Matter of fact, I'm looking for the day. You know, we did that track with Mike.
Yo,
we're looking for the time next. But I am like all about making some of these rock, hip hop beats.
Yeah, let's get it.
So you and I, we need to do something.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Send me the track. As long as I can spit on it, I'll do it. Okay. That's just how I am. You gotta pay me nothing or nothing. It's all for the kingdom.
Crazy.
Been bought with a price, so it isn't for free. Gotta sacrifice the animal that's living in me. Be a steward of the grace that's been given to me. Shine light to the lost that's been living in need. To live and be free. Yeah, they've been given a seed to be freed by the king that's risen indeed. Yeah, that I mean it is he who bring increase. I got a piece of the peace that ain't never gonna cease to peace. Sheesh, scream hallelujah. All glory goes up to YHWH.
You know what I mean?
Praise God, brother. So,
yeah, praise his name, man.
Any last things you'd like to say to anyone? Maybe just if you have anything on your heart to the body of the son?
Unity. We need to stop being divided over calendars and all the nonsense. You know, we're all walking this thing out. No two people are gonna keep Torah alike. No two people, you know, unless you're a husband and a wife. But at the end of the day, we're in this time where we need to shed grace to one another and stop beating each other down with the word and stop beating each other down with dogma. You know, at the end of the day, we all follow Yahuwah, and we're just trying to serve and walk like his son Yahusha. And we just need to spread love to one another. You know, a lot of nonsense taking place in the body where unnecessary division is happening, and it's not a good look. It's not a good look. We're the body. We're supposed to be representing the Most High, so let's do that. You know what I mean? And I just pray that everybody comes to that understanding and really start shedding that love that we're supposed to have for our brother and one another, because it's lacking big time in this community, and it's got to change, because it can't go on. You know, lots of bad comes from it. The division takes place to where people start falling away from the faith because they're seeing these things, and it's like, yo, let's really get it together, and let's do this for the Most High, and let's be the body we're called to be.
We are so in with that.
You know what I mean?
when we see this unnecessary division you're talking about,
Yeah.
I think of when Messiah talks about woe to those who put stumbling blocks for the little ones. You know? And we just think about people maybe new in the Torah faith, and they see something like this, and they're like, yeah, right.
Yeah. Hey,
Saying it.
on what you're saying right there, I actually have a few brothers who are coming from the Christian walk and who are keeping Torah, who see this nonsense, and they ask me, like, what's up with this? And here I am having to be like, hey, man, it's not always like that. It's just some things happen. You know, the enemy likes to cause division. And so I've actually had to explain a few of these things out to a close brother of mine. And, you know, praise the Most High, he has understanding and discernment because he can see it. And, you know, I just hope more people come to that.
Praise
You know what I mean?
Well, Jayo, it was amazing
Always,
getting together for dinner with you and your family and meeting us here in Denver.
Always, man.
We love you so much. Look forward
Love
to
y'all too, man. For real.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. That's what's good.
Though my feet may get weary, you tell me carry on.
Well, my dear, we're on the last leg of our trip. We just left Denver and we're on our way back to Missouri. And last night was like a grand finale. I mean, this trip has been inspirational to us. It's been restorative. It's been an amazing time. And last night was just like a grand finale. Like, we had an amazing dinner with Jayo and family, and it was great getting to know them a little better. We have a lot in common with them. Really look forward to getting to know them better. And just talking about Hebrew Fest in the future and testimonies, and of course we had good falafel, so that's good too. We love falafel. And so after dinner with Jayo and family, we were able to go visit a family that we were really hoping to visit. I think they caught wind we were traveling and reached out and was like, hey, you know, stop on by. And it was just, we were able to have reconciliation and shalom, and it was just definitely the icing on the cake or the cherry on top or whatever.
Answered prayers.
Total answered prayers. And so we just want to finish up this trip with just giving praise to Yah and knowing that He is the living Elohim. And we know without a doubt He sent His only begotten Son, Yeshua, to die for our sins, and that through His blood we're cleansed. And we pray that this trip may have inspired you to recognize that His creation is amazing. Go out there and explore. He made this for us, right? And to recognize that there's hurting and broken people out there that need us, that we're supposed to be that light. We can't just be sheltered in our homes, in our homesteads and whatever. And we've got to get out there and be the light. People are hurting. They need to hear the truth. They need to hear that they're loved. They need to hear that there is hope. They need to hear our testimonies to know that there is a possibility of restoration in their life. And we just want to say that we love you all. It was great to see everyone on this trip, and we look forward to the next mission that Yah's got for us. Until then, hey, may Yahweh bless you and keep you. May Yahweh make His face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahweh lift up His countenance upon you and give you
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.